Ulysses, Part 1, Chapter 2, Nestor. The time is 10 AM, though in reality it starts about 9:50. The scene, the school. To be precise, it's Clifton School at Summerfield House in Dalkey. Joyce worked there from March to June in 1904. The colour is brown. The technique, personal catechism. Correspondences Joyce lays out. Stephen is Telemachus, Deacy is Nestor, Sargent is Pisistratus, and Mrs. O'Shea, Helen of Troy. Science or art is history in this case, and the meaning of the chapter is the wisdom of the old world. No organs again, we don't get organs with Stephen. And the symbols involved are the horse, Ulster, woman, and common sense. Other characters that are of significance are a scatter of other schoolboys. Now for plot. You, Cochrane, what city sent for him? Tarentum, sir. Very good. Well, there was a battle, sir. Very good. Where? The boy's blank face asked the blank window. Dedalus is teaching a history lesson in school, but he is no teacher and laments to himself how he can only get so far before he loses the students. This time his poetic idealisation pushes past the casual taking of the name Pyrrhus for the word Pier. With hockey coming at 10 o'clock, they're all pretty much distracted anyway, and they ask him for a ghost story. 10 comes and they break. Cyril Sargent stays behind to ask for help with his sums before joining the rest. It being a Thursday and Thursday being payday, Dedalus proceeds to find Deacy, the headmaster, is looking for his wages. Deacy's more interested in complaining about everything and wants Dedalus to use his connections with the paper to get an article he had written published about Irish cattle and horses and the foot and mouth disease. Deacy lashes out at the problems he sees in the world, continuing on to the sins of women. Dedalus leaves, considering that Mulligan's next nickname for him will be the Bullock Befriending Bard. A couple of choice quotes from the chapter. Kingstown Pier, Stephen said. Yes, a disappointed bridge. The words troubled their gaze. How, sir? Coleman asked. A bridge is across a river. What do you mean? Deacy asked. He came forward a pace and stood by the table. His underjaw fell sideways open uncertainly. Is this old wisdom? He waits to hear from me. History, Stephen said, is a nightmare from which I am trying to awake. From the playfield, the boys raised a shout. A whirring whistle. Goal. What if the nightmare could give you a back kick? The ways of the Creator are not our ways, Mr. Deacy said. All human history moves towards one great goal, the manifestation of God. Stephen jerked his thumb towards the window, saying, That is God. As for the odds and ends, we have the second appearance of anti-Semitism in the novel. Joyce was really very, very anti-bigot, and so the lead character of this novel is Leopold Bloom, and he is Jewish. The anti-Semitism that Bloom suffers daily is a key problem that Joyce identifies in Irish life, as well as European. Where previously Haynes, the Englishman, was the anti-Semite, now we see an Irish one in the form of the headmaster Deacy. Both certainly see themselves as literate, educated men. By introducing it earlier, Joyce gives an Irish audience an easy in, if you like, to see that the Englishman as the villain before turning the lens upon ourselves. Mark my words, Mr. Dedalus, he said. England is in the hands of the Jews. It's in all the highest places. Her finance, her press, they're the signs of a nation's decay. However, wherever they gather, they eat up the nation's vital strength. I've seen it coming these years. As sure as we are standing here, the Jew merchants are already at their work of destruction. Old England is dying. Deacy here starts off with the anti-Semitism, and he adds it to misogyny, nationalism, and religiosity. All bad things in Joyce's book. Dedalus is stuck in a power vacuum that doesn't clearly permit him to freely disagree with his boss, although already his lack of enthusiasm for Deacy's guff seems to mark him out in Deacy's eyes. Deacy just doesn't let it go, though. As Dedalus is walking out, we get this happen. Mr. Dedalus! Running after me. No more letters, I hope. Just one moment. Yes, sir, Stephen said, turning back at the gate. Mr. Deacy halted, breathing hard and swallowing his breath. I just wanted to say, he said, Ireland, they say, has the honour of being the only country which has never persecuted the Jews. Do you know that? No? And do you know why? He frowned sternly on the bright air. Why, sir? Stephen asked, beginning to smile. Because she's never let them in, Mr. Deacy said solemnly. Yeah. So Deacy is supposedly our Nestor? In reality, this isn't... Nestor was a mentor in Ulysses, or in the Odyssey, but in Ulysses, this is a juxtaposition. Rather than any sense of honouring Deacy, he is mocking them.
And long, still towards that twilight comes love's old song, comes love's old sweet song.